Yes, happy Sunday, legends. What's going on? What's going on with that bit of hair there? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. We're here for a cheeky lunchtime live. Sorry to keep you waiting there, folks. PC was having a Rasmus Hojlund moment there. But we managed to get it sorted out. How you all doing tonight, guys? Or today, I should say. Welcome aboard the Bacon Express. We're here to discuss the latest Manchester United news of the day. Transfer news, latest goings on, etc. We'll cover it in the next sort of 45 minutes to an hour. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining us, waiting patiently for us to get going, you legends. I can see Daz Salford, Fung Sire, Tom Porter, Sanjay, Madhouse. What's going on, lad? The Mustard, Tom Furlong, Robert. Let's go. Tottenham Ranger. And everybody else who's in here, thank you very much for joining us and getting aboard the show. Do us a favour at the start of this stream then. Smash that like button on it. That will help the stream out. Give us a big thumbs up. Let's get to 100 likes. Also, share us around. If you want to share us around somewhere you can, there's a link to the X post. Feel free to give us a cheeky little repost on X. That would be amazing. We'll shout you out later on in the show, you legends. Nice one. And also, as always, get involved in the chat there. We want to hear from you. Nice one, Greg. Nice one, Melissa, Barbary, Prima Italia, Fung Sire, and everybody who's in here. Thank you so much. Get yourselves involved in the chat. We'll dip in and out. And, of course, Q&A at the end. Right, guys. So, we had some stinking news yesterday, didn't we, in regards to Gyokeres and the Arsenal preference. Apparently, he's more interested in joining the Arsenal Hojlunds than he would be Manchester United due to the fact, well, I guess they finished second. They got to a semi-finals of the Champions League, and they're in the Champions League next season. There is a lot of reasons to actually go to Arsenal right now, if we're being honest, because they're probably not that far away from being a bit better and just finishing second by a lesser amount of points. Do you know what I'm saying? But no, in all honesty, if you add the goals up the top there and sort their issues out in regards to not having a proper number 9, they probably would be pretty decent, wouldn't they? They probably are going to be pretty decent. So that's the reality. There is a complete horrible situation at United right now. It's horrible. The owners are gash. The team's gash. We finished 15th. No UCL. No Europe. Amarim's come in, and let's face it, his record is Gary Neville-esque at Valencia. It's actually worse than that, in fact. It's actually worse. But still not necessarily his fault. Obviously, lots to do, get his players in, but there's no guarantees he's going to do well either. So in terms of like a player from the outside looking in, it's a bit of a stinker time to come at the moment. So obviously, yesterday, these were the reports that came out. Viktor Gyokeres' priority is to join Arsenal. Why is it so dark in here, mate? Look, this is what happens. I need to address this issue. I'm going to get a blackout curtain. Sorry, it looks like I'm the Undertaker or something. Basically, I've got this window here, and then there's I've got just like a translucent screen. A translucent screen, guys, which isn't man enough for the job. And when it's too sunny, it creates some big contrast there behind me of the light, and it's just messing everything up, mate. It's doing my head in. Anyway, I'm going to sort that out, guys. I'm going to sort that out very soon, okay? Because that is annoying. Look at that light coming through there. It's pissing me off. Anyway, Gyokeres' preference is to join Arsenal. Always an option amid Sesko talks with no deal sealed so far. Arsenal keep assessing the situation, right? Okay. So, you know, I mean, it may well just be a case of, like we've heard, Arsenal are in for both Sesko and Gyokeres. This is all part of the feeding out process. They're probably not going to sign two players in that position, are they? So it's going to be one or the other. There's still a chance that Gyokeres isn't even really going to be, bid for there by Arsenal. There's a real possibility that Arsenal are just using this as maybe some sort of leverage in the Sesko deal to try and get him for a little bit less or to try and get the deal wrapped up. That's always a possibility. We've talked about this whole PR spin guff that's going on from various different clubs when you have clubs trying to maybe put pressure on other clubs to finish deals or to accept more or less money, whatever the case may be. And so there's some sort of deal essentially fabricated there. Sometimes they put the feelers out, it gets reported, but essentially it's designed just to put extra pressure on either a selling team or a buying team. So that is a possibility. Let's face it. I mean, Arsenal may well still end up getting Sesko and not getting Gyokeres at all, which means that he would be available to join Manchester United. But as we've said yesterday, we don't really want a player playing for Manchester United who doesn't really want to be here, who'd rather be over there playing for Arsenal Hojlunds. Who wants that? So we don't want that. We want players that are desperate to play for Manchester United, a la Mateus Cunha was very keen on the idea. Seems like Mbeumo is as well, although there is a hold-up there, obviously, which is annoying, but we're still expecting that to be done. So Gyokeres' preference may be Arsenal, but at the moment, you know, there's no guarantees he's going to end up going to Arsenal, is what I'm saying. The amount of money involved that Sporting are looking for as well. So reports are 60 to 70 million euros, but they may well end up looking for more. Perhaps 80 million. So let's have a look at this. So Fabrizio said that Viktor Gyokeres did not say no to United, but those close to United feel he's given priority to Arsenal. That's what Fabrizio said. I mean, this whole transfer window, it's all just smoke and mirrors guff, isn't it? Starting to believe that it's all just absolute nonsense in regards to any of this stuff over the last couple of weeks, to be fair. But Gyokeres did not say no to United. Those close to United feel he's given priority to Arsenal. Okay. So he's not rejected Manchester United. Those close to United feel he's given priority. Okay, maybe he has said that he needs UCL football, that he wants to play for a team that's not finishing 15th for the league. I get that. I mean, he's coming from Sporting. They're a team that's winning things over there. They're a team that's in the Champions League. He played 8 times in the Champions League last season for Sporting, got 6 goals. He's going to continue to want to play in the Champions League. So I get it at the moment. No guarantees Amorim stays beyond 6 months, either if he has a stinker. I get it. It's not a very attractive proposition to come and play for Manchester United right now. But as we mentioned, this is from Marco Alcaraz just before the stream, and, this is sort of what I think as well to a degree. Because why the hell are Arsenal deep in talks with Leipzig and stuff for Sesko when there's this situation with Gyokeres where he could potentially be had for less money and he's got more goals? I'm a little bit confused about the situation, but this is what Marco Alcaraz said. He said, Viktor Gyokeres' camp suggests they're being used as leverage by Arsenal in the club's pursuit of Benjamin Sesko. While Gyokeres leans towards an Arsenal move, he remains open to joining Man United. Player is said to be frustrated his preference has been made public. I guess that would be pretty frustrating, wouldn't it? Yes. But look, end of the day, maybe this is the case. Maybe Arsenal are just using Gyokeres as a bit of leverage to get that Sesko deal over the line. It's possible. In which case, obviously we would be left potentially still looking to bring in Gyokeres, but it's just annoying now his preference seems to be Arsenal, if that's what you believe. I mean, let's face it, reports coming out at this summer transfer window, probably 50% of them at least are absolute garbage. Just remember that. But let's ask the live chat for a bit of fun, guys. If Arsenal do end up getting Sesko and they don't sign Viktor Gyokeres, would you still be interested in Viktor Gyokeres? Yes or no? At Manchester United, yes or no? Because ultimately, like I say, it does seem at the moment like he's not desperate to play for us. And we want players that are desperate to play for us, really, even if they're not necessarily as big a name players or as big a sort of profile or have as many goals. Surely we want players that would literally jump at the chance. What's that, Mateta? You want to come and play for us, do you, lad? You're desperate? You'll play for a fraction of the price of Gyokeres? Oh, okay then, yes, go on then. You can add 14 goals instead of 20. It's that kind of thing really at the moment. But ultimately, he's, if somebody wants to play for us, that's a powerful thing. That's a good thing, and not just money. I mean, Matheus Cunha seemed like he was very keen on joining Manchester United. Got the deal done nice and early, no links to anybody else, no preferences elsewhere, come to play for us. Okay, fair enough, he is coming from Wolves. That is a smaller Gasher club in a lot of ways, of course. It's not a team that's in the Champions League. It's not a team that's got prospects of playing in the Champions League. It's unrealistic for them. So, yeah, it makes sense for Matheus Cunha, I guess. I guess it makes sense for Bryan Mbeumo. But for Gyokeres, who's at a Champions League team and is currently actually looking for, potential suitors to take him on this summer, he probably is looking for the preference of a Champions League team. That just makes all the sense in the world. Let's see what you guys are saying, though. Would you take Gyokeres at United if he's not bought by Arsenal? If they end up getting Sesko, would you take Gyokeres? Let's have a little look at the live chat. No, says Mark Hojlund. Welshman says no. Prima says yes. The Mustard says yes. Nicholas says no. Jog on Gyokeres. Yes. Beggars can't be choosers. Hello there, Nas. What's going on? Disco says yes, absolutely. We need his goals. No way he can do one. No, no, no. I mean, you will be interested, but he won't be interested in you. That's a fair comment. Fair comment. 100% no, no, no. He's a diva. No, no, yes, no. Jog on, Gyokeres. No, no. Interesting. No. I mean, I am definitely in agreement with the no's here, I must say. I do feel like that is the case. I mean, if ultimately a player is not desperate jumping for the chance to play for us, there's a bad sign there. We don't want somebody who's just looking over his shoulder at Arsenal all the time, thinking, oh, we could be playing in a Champions League team right now or challenging for the title. Man United should be doing that. We need players who are able to actually drag us back there, who can see the potential of Manchester United, because it is a brilliant football club. It's literally the best football club in the world, in my opinion. The amount of time we've come back from adversity, it's unmatched. We've had issues in the past. We've been relegated. Hell, we've had whole teams decimated by a Munich air disaster and stuff like that. And then 10 years later, almost to the day, winning the 1968 European Cup final, So this is, we've dealt with adversity before. This is a special club. And obviously, I believe that in a couple of years' time, you can call it blind, whatever, but I feel like in a couple of years' time, we could quite easily be back up there again. But we just need, obviously, to be going in the right direction and just to build gradually. We need to get a manager who's got the chops for the job. Hopefully Amarim's that guy, but obviously the first 6 months of his job not looking too good. But hopefully he's that guy. We certainly need to back him, give him who he needs. I want players who want to play for us. I want players who are desperate to be a Manchester United player. So if he'd rather go and join Arsenal, it kind of scuppers the deal for me. He's had his head turned, or he'd prefer Arsenal. If he doesn't really prefer Manchester United with Ruben Amorim, then what are we doing here? I don't want mercenaries. I don't want players who, they're just coming here as a second choice or a third choice. I want players who really are here because they know the opportunity that's before them. So I hope that ultimately, I've said a lot of this stuff could just be absolute guff. Like we've talked about the last few days, a lot of this Gyokeres, Arsenal preference stuff, it could just be absolute guff, guys. Designed to maybe increase the pressure from Arsenal to sign Benjamin Sesko. This could be absolute guff on toast. Just remember that. So, okay, there was lots of reports, and Fabrizio Romano and Ben Jacobs and all these guys confirming that this to be the case. But it's known that Gyokeres, if you believe the reports are coming out, it's known that Gyokeres wouldn't be happy with this situation of his preference being made aware publicly. So it's one of those. It's one of those. It's probably just leverage. It's probably just bollocks. It's probably just paper talk. It's probably just absolute guff. But ultimately, you would understand it. like we've said, you would understand if Arsenal is a much more appealing destination at the moment than United, simply because of where they are, the Champions League football, and the fact that they're not that far away, probably. Like if they do get a beastly goal scorer who could add 25 goals a season, they probably would be up there challenging. That's the reality, because they're not that far away, are they? He's an Arsenal scummer, that's what I'm saying, Godzilla, yes. Speaking of Arsenal scummers, how you doing there, the Cinnamon? I hope you're doing well. You guys will take him, says the Cinnamon. Yep, so Arsenal fan is the Cinnamon. He's saying, so you think you're going to get Sesko and we'll end up getting Gyokeres, you reckon? In terms of if we take him, like we said, obviously there's lots of good points about Viktor Gyokeres. The goal record's undeniable. He's in his prime. We could probably have 4 or 5 years of top quality service from him. And he is a goal-scoring beast, lad. His record speaks for itself. So those are the plus points. And, of course, we do need somebody that can do that for us. Beggars can't be choosers. But ultimately, again, if there's other options, other players that want to come to us, then I'd rather that, to be fair, because I don't want a player who's just coming to us as a second choice. But let's have a look at this bit of news here. This is from Record in Portugal. Again, Record, take it with a pinch of salt, but they were actually the outlet that reported early yesterday about the fact that the preference for Gyokeres was indeed Arsenal and that he'd essentially rejected United. This is what they said, and then like 8 or 9 hours later, the likes of Fab and Ben Jacobs and all those guys also sort of confirming that on social media. So, but this report says that Arsenal froze negotiations for Gyokeres due to inflated price. Sporting are asking for 80 million euros. Arsenal have now removed Gyokeres from their priority list. Now, again, you have to take all this stuff with a pinch of salt. Like I say, it's all just paper talk designed for clicks and shit, isn't it? Most of it, really. So you kind of have to take it with a pinch of salt. They did obviously report on the fact that his preference was Arsenal yesterday. Now they're reporting that Arsenal froze negotiations for Gyokeres due to an inflated price, which may be the case. We've heard that Gyokeres may be unhappy with the situation where he had some sort of an agreement in place with Sporting where they'd let him go for 60 million-ish, and now they're looking to play a little bit of silly buggers and try and get a little bit more, because obviously the value's there, they can get more. If there's no actual written agreement in place, then you can't really blame Sporting for trying to get as much as they possibly can out of the deal. It would be frustrating for Viktor and his agents and everyone as well, especially if they're trying to move early in the window, because they don't want a saga, they don't want to be drawn out, they want to get into a new club and settle if that's the case. But from Sporting's perspective, it makes sense for them just to try and get as much money as they can. But unless there is some sort of written agreement or a clause or something like that, we know that he's got a clause in his contract closer to 100 million euros release fee, and nobody's going to pay that. But there's an expectation that they would let him go for a lot less than that. Now, we heard the comments from their president the other day, and he said something along the lines of, we are not looking for 80 or 90 to 100 million for a 27-year-old leaving Sporting. It doesn't happen. But that doesn't say we're only looking for 60 million. That essentially means that we're looking for, probably a bit less than that. So, yeah, maybe it's just a case of Sporting trying to get as much money as they can. Arsenal had put the feelers out, but if ultimately it's too much of a deal, too much of a price tag for the deal, then they may well look elsewhere. Same goes for the Sesko situation. And maybe they are using this Gyokeres name as a bit of leverage in order to get the Sesko deal done. That's also true. Thank you, Adrian Southall, for subscribing to the channel. Yes, Adrian! By the way, hey, yo, Adrian, I did it! By the way, if you guys are new to the channel, do what Adrian's done there. You can help us get to 90,700 subscribers. We're only 30 people away, guys. Give us a subscribe if you're here for the first time. We cover all the United news on here in a no bullshit way. And we have a great community vibe. So get yourself involved here on Flying Pig United YouTube channel by smashing that subscribe button. And hit the likes on the video as well. That will help the stream out. How many are we on right now? We're currently on 114 likes. Get in. Help us get to 115. Yeah, okay, so Delap snubbed United. That's true. Looks like potentially Gyokeres. It would be an all-time low if Mbeumo went to Spurs, which that's not looking too likely at this minute in time, but it wouldn't be out of the question if it did potentially happen due to Thomas Frank going there and the UCL football and all the rest of it, and the London vibe. He's obviously in London at the moment for Brentford. So it wouldn't be a big surprise, actually, but that really would be an all-time low if Mbeumo went to Spurs. But like you said, Delap snubbed United. We were in there for him. He represented a good deal, 30 million quid for a 22-year-old homegrown player who's probably going to do quite well in his career. He looks good. He scored 12 in a shit Ipswich team last season and was involved in 40% of all of their goals. So obviously a good player, good young player with good prospects. So we definitely missed out on him. Say what you want. I mean, I'm not that bothered about missing out on him, in all fairness, because I thought we were going to go and sign somebody who's a bigger name, more experienced, further along in their development. Somebody like a Gyokeres, or I guess an Osserman or somebody along those lines, like a big marquee signing. Liam Delap is a good signing, but I wouldn't trust him to be the number 9, like the number 1 up there. I wouldn't trust him. He'd have to be number 2 for me. He'd have to be backing up whoever is going to be your main striker. You couldn't risk it. You couldn't go into a season putting everything on his shoulders. He does look better than Gasmus, Boyland, etc., but same sort of age. Ultimately, it's too soon to have that level of responsibility up there scoring on the goals. So if that was to be our main signing, I wouldn't want that anyway. I would have wanted him as an addition to the squad to be a secondary choice. That's it, really. But in terms of the actual number 9, starting number 9, no. Coys, thank you, says, look, the Gyokeres deal is not over. Sesko will join Arsenal. We have to be patient. I like your style there, Coys, yeah. I mean, obviously we could say, no, we don't want Gyokeres. No, we don't want Gyokeres because if his preference is Arsenal, who needs that melter? We don't want sloppy seconds, all that guff. But you never know what's actually going on behind the scenes. Like, yes, there's all these reports coming out saying that his preference is Arsenal, he's rejected United and all this guff. But it could just all be absolute bollocks, as I've said. So ultimately, we have to just wait and see what plays out. I don't think any of us actually would be too disappointed if Man United were able to reach an agreement with Sporting for Gyokeres, and it's been reported a couple of weeks ago that, he wanted to go to Arsenal. It's just bollocks, isn't it? Could be bollocks anyway. And let's face it, it could be bollocks based on actual sort of truths. Not necessarily from his lips, but if you think about the scenario, Ruben Amorim has got that relationship with him. Great. He's had a stinker so far since he's coming to United. To be fair, his results have been awful, right? If he doesn't start the season well next year, if we don't go on a winning run to begin with and maybe cement ourselves in top sort of seven places, maybe 7-8 places by Christmas, if he's down in 15th place again after a couple of months, his head is firmly on the chopping block, which means that somebody like Gyokeres, who would probably be going to United for a large reason of the fact that his old manager's there, is going to be left out in the lurch then, isn't he? Because his manager may be getting sacked. And so there's no stability there at United for a player coming in there, especially a player that's maybe coming because of the Ruben Amorim link as well. Like, okay, United's a huge club, we can pay huge money, but maybe a player like that would choose United because of the manager that is there at the moment, having worked with him. So that's a factor. But obviously, Ruben Amorim's got no guarantees to stay there for a long time. That's the reality. So, yeah, you wouldn't blame Gyokeres wanting to go to Arsenal for that reason, because there is no stability at United. There's much more stability at Arsenal. Yes, Arteta's had 6 years and they're not winning things, really, but they're probably not that far away. If they could add the goals to the team up the top there, from a number 9 perspective, they're really not that far away. And somebody like Gyokeres could probably see that opportunity there and think, yeah, I could be the missing piece there. And then, obviously, you look at what they've done in terms of being up there, challenging. I say challenging, they're not really challenging, but they're up there, finishing second all the time. They're also up there in Europe. They got to the semis. They're doing better. They're getting further. They're in the competition to the latter stages. So from that perspective, nobody would blame Gyokeres for wanting to go to Arsenal, in all fairness. You can't really blame him. It's just a better situation that their club is in right now, and that's just the cold, hard facts. As amazing as Manchester United is, like, Arsenal's a better prospect at the moment. That's true. From a player like Gyokeres' point of view. Maybe from somebody else's point of view, it's not. Like, if they don't have the game time guaranteed at Arsenal, maybe they choose somewhere else. But for Arsenal, he's pretty much going to have the game time guaranteed, isn't he? Because that's what they need as a number 9. They were playing bloody Marino there last season. So they definitely will give him lots of opportunities, whoever they sign, whether it's Sesko, whether it's Gyokeres. So there's an opportunity there for a player. So I wouldn't really begrudge him wanting to go there over Manchester United right now, simply because of United's state of the club, with the owners and the situation and where we finished now with Gash we look, and the squad and the turmoil and the toxicity. There's a lot of negatives going around at United right now, it has to be said. Arsenal, on the other hand, much better place. So there you go. If he wanted to go to Arsenal, I suppose you couldn't really blame him. And if Arsenal are using him as a bargaining chip in that whole Sesko deal, that makes sense as well. And if he doesn't end up going to Arsenal, he will still be available to go somewhere. And we probably should get him. Because even though I've just said I only want players who want to play for Manchester United, he is a goal machine. He is scoring lots of goals over there for Sporting. He could do that for United to a lesser degree, and he's not going to get those figures in the Prem. But he could do that to United to a lesser degree. He also has that relationship with Amorim. That's the main reason I want him, really. Because of Amorim. If Amorim wants him, then I want him. Because Amorim was his coach. Amorim did really well in helping him develop as well. And he obviously had a really good record under Amorim. Amorim knows him, Amorim's system. It could actually be very effective, couldn't it? And it saves us a bit of time when you've got somebody who can come in and has that relationship, that working relationship already with the manager. So from that perspective, I do like the Gyokeres deal. But I only really want players who want to play for us. But again, if he ends up coming and Amorim wants him, I'm not going to say, oh, we shouldn't have got this guy, because he's obviously still a great choice for us, great option. There's other options. There's Mateta. There's, who else? Ivan Toney, Duran, Mitrovic. Why am I naming all these players from Saudi? I don't know. But there's options for us, isn't there? Osman. Dave Murphy. Yes, Dave. Thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button there, Dave Murphy. You're a legend, lad. Thank you for subscribing. Nice. We're only 25 subscribers away from 90,700 now. Thank you, Dave. Bet Chelsea will sell Delap in 2 years. Thing is, though, even if they do, it was still a no-brainer, no-risk signing. Like, that Delap deal, we should have got it, but if he doesn't want to come to us, he'd rather go to Chelsea. Screw that guy. We don't need him, and he's not that key for us anyway. But actually, if you think about the Delap deal, chances are they'll probably make a profit in 2 years, even if he has a bang average time of it. He's only 22 now. By then, he'll have been an established Chelsea player with European experience and all the rest of it. Like, that's why that was such a good signing and why we missed out. It's not because of what you do right now, necessarily. It's just no risk. There's no risk signing Delap, because his value is only going to go one way for many years. He's an appreciating asset instead of a depreciating asset. And so, from that perspective, yeah, Delap was a great signing for Chelsea, and I think he would have been a great signing for us as well, but only as a secondary choice striker, personally. Yes! What's that, Dan Salford, lad? Oh, you're working tomorrow. Oh, you're working right now. Oh, shit, Fabrizio getting in, you legend. Technically, he hasn't ruled out Man United. No, exactly. There you go, Thornton. So if we just have another look at the reports, before we move on to the next stuff, before we have a little look at the other stuff in regards to Hojlund and Mbeumo, Osman, there is some news about those guys, which we'll get onto shortly. But before we do, let's just have a quick look at the stuff that you may have missed if you've only just gotten the stream at the start of what we've been talking about. So obviously yesterday, Gyokeres' priority to join Arsenal this summer, despite calls from Manchester United in the recent weeks. Gyokeres always an option amid Sesko talks with no deal sealed so far. Arsenal keep assessing the situation. United remain keen, but believe the deal is now unlikely. So we have to take that as sort of what it says, really. I think that's probably where we're at. But Arsenal right now may be just using Gyokeres. That's true. Fabrizio said that Gyokeres did not say no to Man United, but those close to United feel he's giving priority to Arsenal. So, yeah, seems like that Arsenal preference is definitely there. And then this is from Marco Alcaraz just before we went live on the stream. Says that Gyokeres' camp suggests they're being used as leverage by Arsenal in the club's pursuit of Benjamin Sesko. While Gyokeres leans towards an Arsenal move, he remains open to joining Man United. Player is said to be frustrated his preference has been made public. So, I mean, obviously, if you're Gyokeres, like we've said, it makes sense to go to Arsenal right now. But it doesn't mean that if Arsenal sign Sesko that you're not going to want to play for Man United. There's still a great opportunity there to play for Manchester United. It's just whether or not we want somebody's second choice. Okay, and also, this is a report from Record in Portugal who said that Arsenal froze negotiations for Gyokeres due to inflated price. Sporting are asking for 80 million euros. Arsenal now removed Gyokeres from their priority list. So again, feeders out there, maybe also using the leverage, of course, for the Sesko deal. But if it's too much money, Sporting are reportedly asking for more money than what they'd had agreed previously with Gyokeres' camp. So if that's the case, it could be a long, drawn-out process, this anyway. So they may find an easier deal there with Sesko, or this may just be absolute bollocks, because let's face it, Record in Portugal, it's not exactly, the gold standard when it comes to reports. But they did report yesterday first, before anybody really, that the deal with Arsenal and Gyokeres was being discussed. So there you go. But yeah, 80 million, who knows? That's sort of what they were going to have to spend on Sesko anyway, similar sort of money. If what we've heard about the figure of around about 70 million euros is true, then they probably pay that because it's less money to pay, and it's also a more experienced player than Sesko. So it's still a possibility, him going to Arsenal, but let's just hope that this is kind of true, that the negotiations are frozen due to inflated price. We're probably quite okay paying that extra money because we're desperate, aren't we? We're desperate. They've had lots of talks with Sesko, and they're looking for a similar amount of money, though. So that's a huge deal as well. So from their perspective, from Arsenal's perspective, from Arteta's perspective, I would go for Gyokeres out of the two. What about you guys? If you were Arteta, who would you go for? Would you go for the younger Sesko, who's going to cost maybe a little bit more, but has many more years on the clock left, and maybe has a higher ceiling? Or do you go with Gyokeres, who is a similar amount of money, maybe a bit less, and has more experience, is 27, doesn't have the Premier League experience, but, neither does Sesko, obviously. But in terms of the goals that he could add to the team, he's probably expected to score more than Sesko would in his first season in the Prem. So who do you go for if you're Arteta, guys? Let's have a think about it. Arsenal should go for Gyokeres or Sesko, if you had the choice. So if I was Arteta, guys, I would go and get Gyokeres because he's more experienced, probably more ready-made, probably more goals, and, more expected maybe to hit the ground running due to the experience. Experience is very important, isn't it? Sesko for you, says Paul. Gyokeres, you think Gyokeres, but Sesko's the better player. Interesting. If I was Arteta, I'd go for Danny Ings. Sesko, oops. If we lose Mbeumo to Spurs, I would be peed off with Ineos. Oh, dude, tell me about it. And it's all down to lack of movements, really, lack of pace in terms of getting these deals done and over the line, isn't it? There was a time when we could have gotten Mbeumo done and agreed with Brentford pretty early doors, maybe for a few extra £1 million. But then Thomas Frank's gone to Spurs, and that's put a cat amongst the pigeons, lad. You would go for Mex. Arteta's obsessed with Sesko. He should buy Gashimus Pig. Arsenal should go for Sesko. You want no one to go for Gyokeres, and neither should United after they do. Let him rot in Portugal. Like that, MB. Nice one, now. Fair enough. Yeah, Harry Butler, because that's just bollocks what you're talking about, lad. I mean, you got to get up a lot earlier to confuse the pig, lad. Listen, I've got my finger on the pulse, mate. I know what's going on. Some little spotty little virgin called Harry Butler coming in the stream saying that Fabrizio said that Mbeumo agreed bird. It's not going to get my reaction. Apart from that, I just have reacted to it. But the reason is to say that you're talking absolute tosh, lad. That's not happened. There is no talks. There is no actual personal terms been agreed with Spurs and Mbeumo. At the moment, Spurs have maybe made initial contact to find out sort of more details on Brentford and the deal and everything, you know, and whether there's interest, I suppose, as well. They've got to do that as well. Is there interest? They're not just going to agree personal terms with him out of nowhere. So I think you're just absolutely talking bollocks there, Harry, and of course you are. And I know you are, because I know the state of the deal, lad. The state of the deal is as such. Right, this is the state of the Mbeumo deal. Let's get onto the Mbeumo updates then. There's not really any updates, but let's get onto the Mbeumo state of play. So at the moment, it's told all suitors, including Tottenham, he only wants Manchester United. This is via Ben Jacobs, right? Very, very many other outlets suggesting that essentially Bryan Mbeumo to Manchester United is going to be happening. It's going to happen. It's just that at the moment there's a finalisation issue with the two clubs reaching an agreement over structure and the final amount. Brentford may be just aware that the situation with Spurs and how United are desperate. They can just hang on for a little bit more cash, can't they? They can squeeze a little bit of extra blood out the stone when it comes to Manchester United, and they know they can, and they can. They actually can. Man United should just pay the extra 5 million or 2.5 million or whatever it may be that's holding up the deal right now and just get him in, because the risk is we lose out on him. And this is what this whole Spurs situation is causing. It's causing that doubt, and you can see why, because obviously Thomas Frank is the manager that managed him at Brentford. But he didn't want to stay at Brentford with Thomas Frank, but he's moved to Spurs, who are a much bigger football club, obviously have European football right now as well, Champions League, which is a big draw. Plus he could stay in London, and he's playing for his previous coach. So there is 3 big reasons just there why he would want to go to Spurs. But at the moment, there is no approach from Spurs. There is no bid from Spurs. There's a bid from Manchester United. There's a bid and negotiations and rounds of negotiations and trying to reach an agreement finally. There's that going on, which may well be done, who knows, today, tomorrow, who knows. Could be done very soon in terms of the actual agreement between the two clubs. The personal terms are not an issue. He's already agreed to play for Manchester United. He wants to play for United. He's already agreed the amount of money per week, the salary, everything is already agreed, at least verbally. But in terms of, finalisations, obviously that would have to be done. But he's agreed. So he's happy to play for Manchester United. He wants to play. He sees the opportunity there. Huge club, right? He wants to play for us. Spurs, he may well be keen on Spurs as well. Who knows? It's now that Thomas Frank's gone there, he may have changed his mind. But he did turn down the likes of Newcastle. He did turn down other clubs that had an interest in him and that can offer him UCL football and a big status still in order to accept Manchester United. Is that down to Man United paying him a bit more money than those teams were prepared to pay him? Possibly. But that's what we do at this football club. We pay players reasonable amounts. We've discussed £150,000 to £200,000 a week is his probable salary that he'll be getting. And will Spurs match that? I mean, they could, but will they actually match that? Probably not. So I'm not too worried about Spurs, really. Maybe they would give Thomas Frank a star signing right at the start and break the bank. That could happen. I wouldn't rule it out. But in terms of percentages, it's 90% in favour of Manchester United, because the cold hard facts are he's agreed to join Man United. He's agreed personal terms with Manchester United. We've already had a bid on the table there rejected for Brentford, and we're trying to get another deal done, obviously, and it's probably not that far away. Just a few £1 million apart, maybe a little bit of a disparity there over literally a few £1 million at this stage. It's not too distant, I think, from getting done. So it's one of those, you can never say it's going to happen, you can never say it's guaranteed. And as the days go by, yeah, sure, the percentage chance that we can actually sign him is going down slightly, because as it goes on and it gets closer to July, other teams maybe can spend money more freely due to that whole PSR thing, and obviously the year refreshing for those expenditure levels, etc. That's going to extend. That's going to refresh at the start of July. So teams may well be then looking to sign players like Mbeumo. It does leave the door open for teams like Spurs and Thomas Frank and anybody else who might go in for him. And so it is a little bit of a concern. But as of right now, the player wants to come. He's keen. Man United just need to finalise that deal with Brentford, which probably isn't too far away. And then we can absolutely bring him in there. So, hey, can somebody ban that Harry Butler little prick, please, guys? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Moderators, ban that. I'll do it, actually. Let me swing the ban hammer on this fucking prick. Let's go. We do not tolerate any racism in here, any virgin-esque behaviour from you or anybody else, okay? Nice one. Thank you, guys. Yes. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate that. You have been sacked off, lad. You have been sacked off, lad. Right. Guys, do us a favour. Keep hitting the likes on the stream. We've got 375 legends in here. We're nearly at 200 likes. Let's get that ratio up. At the moment, we're like at a Lukaku ratio. Let's get that ratio up to more sort of Gyokeres levels. 54 and 52 ratio vibes. Do you know what I mean? And also hit that subscribe button if you're new. We're creeping up. We're only 20 people away, guys, from 90,700 subscribers. If you're new, give us a subscribe. Oh, yes. You was just going to say boot him. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, we don't tolerate that shit around here, guys. We welcome everybody in here. We don't want any of that guff. We don't want any, what's it called? Racism, xenophobia, any of that nonsense around here, guys. So don't be a dick and you'll be fine. But yeah, he deserved to be sacked off there. Boxing says, Harry Butler, you spotty little prick. And Mbeumo's ours to lose. Yes, he is. There you go. So the deal's done, essentially, in regards to the player in United. It's just not in regards to the teams, and that's probably not too far away. So a lot of people are very worried about Spurs hijacking the deal, and there's definitely a chance of it happening. We'd be fools to say that it's probably not changed something slightly. And maybe it has changed something, because now his manager, who he worked with at Brentford, has gone to a bigger club with Champions League, and of course, if he wants him, and he has the conversation with him, and he tries to convince him, remember, he has that relationship with him, working with him, and he knows the guy personally, so that means a lot. He could quite simply give him a phone call and turn his head. That's quite possible, especially if they're prepared to match what we can pay him and what the overall fee is going to be to Brentford, which I'm sure they could find, seeing as they did get Champions League football and had that extra windfall of 100 million. So from that perspective, guys, just look, we're done, but we've done it to death talking about this Hojlund Mbeumo thing over the last couple of weeks. It's very frustrating, very frustrating. I'm getting genuinely pissed off with this transfer window now. I just want us to sign Mbeumo. That's it. The Gyokeres deal, right? Okay. Do you know what? The Gyokeres deal, as much as I want Gyokeres, and I think Gyokeres is a great player, if his preference is Arsenal and we end up not getting Gyokeres and we have to sign a different striker, boo fucking who? I'm not that bothered about it. The real signing for us to make right now would actually be Mbeumo. Get it over the line. At least then we've got Cunha and Mbeumo. At least then we've got 15 goals from Cunha in the Premier League last season and 20 goals from Mbeumo in the Premier League added to our team right there. And then we can go and get a striker who actually wants to come and play for us. So I'm not overly bothered, but the fact is we're so close to getting this Mbeumo deal done now. We just need to get it over the line. We need to pay the extra couple of million or whatever it is that's holding this deal up and just get it over the line, get it announced, get it official, get him in, and then we can be like, yes, we've signed 2 really good players. Other teams are making these deals. That's the annoying thing. City have signed 3 really good players for less money, etc., than what we're paying for players. You've got to say Manchester United just need to get this deal over the line now, because other teams are making strides. Liverpool have got a few big deals done up, haven't they, as well, with the likes of Wirtz and Frimpong and, Gyokeres and these guys. And Manchester United, we're going to be left scratching our ball bag at the end of the window, scratching around trying to sign players and rejects if we don't commit to this deal right now and get it finished and over the line. So I really don't know what the hold-up is now. Surely it's a case of, I think Brentford are probably just saying, we want 70 mil. Go and suck an egg unless you give us 70 million quid. And we're probably going, well, we're firm at 60 million quid. You go suck another egg until you're ready to meet that. And then hopefully they'll meet in the middle. But if Brentford really want, they can hold out for that big figure that they want. And Manchester United, really, we should just get closer to that figure and get the deal done. So what? We're talking about a few million quid here. Goodness me, we spent 73 million on Gashmus Boylan, 85 million on Antidos Gastos, 50 million on Andre Onana. We chuck money around like it's fun. So what's an extra few million quid to get this deal done right now at the start of the window? That's what they should do. Yes, you agree. Thank you very much there, Mr. Ivor. Appreciate you, lad. Let's go. Yes, they have. City have done some very good business, haven't they? Yeah, exactly. You're not bothered Gyokeres at all. We never even bid for him, but Mbeumo done, and we moved. Precisely, that's it. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Mateta, so we can sing Acuna Mateta. Brilliant, Omar. That's what we've got to get in. I see. Mateta wouldn't. I wouldn't say no to Mateta. Wouldn't say no to Kluivert. Wouldn't say no to Visser. It's not all about Gyokeres. In fact, in some ways, Gyokeres comes with a little bit of doubt. What can he do in the Premier League? There's no guarantees he comes and scores the same goals that he scored for Sporting or even half of that amount. He probably would, because he looks quality and his record's ridiculous. However, there's no guarantees. Look at Timo Werner from Germany. I use him as a fine example. Everybody thought he was going to do bits. He was scoring 30 and 30 out there. came over here, stank the place up. Like, there's no guarantees. But if you get a Premier League proven player like a Visser, somebody like that, like a Mateta, then obviously the likelihood that they're going to be able to do it for you is higher because they were already doing it in the Premier League. They know the league, the speed of the league, the physicality of the league. So they know that. Thank you, Ivor. Appreciate you. Yes, at the moment we are, Simon. At the moment we're a very ugly sister, lad. We just need Prince Charming to come and bang a slipper on us, though. What? Anyway, so... Look, guys, there you go. Gyokeres is one thing. It would be nice to sign Gyokeres, but we're talking about huge money. It might actually make more sense to just sign this Mbeumo guy, get this deal done, and then work on getting somebody else who's got the Premier League striker-proven experience, like a Visser, like a Mateta, something like that, because they're going to cost less money anyway, more than likely, and they've got the experience of the Prem. So from that perspective, Gyokeres is not really a massive priority, even though the number 9 position is a massive priority. That is obviously where we've got to go and spend our money and get a player in to score goals. We definitely do. But it's not the biggest priority. Biggest priority, you know, is just getting a good number 9. It's not Gyokeres. It doesn't have to be Gyokeres. Yep, let them have it. United fans claim Hojlund was new Haaland. Well, you know, there was a lot of similarities going on there. Turned out he's not even Poundland. He's not even Poundland, mate. He's like 99p store. Yes, still finding the switch up and Gyokeres is crazy. All of a sudden he's not good anymore. No, who's saying that? Who's saying that, lad? Obviously we know he's really good. We're just saying, like, the number 9 is the position we need to strengthen. It doesn't necessarily matter who, as long as it's somebody who's going to score a lot of goals for us. And actually, Gyokeres, as much as I think he will score a lot of goals for us if we did sign him, his goal record is in Portugal. It's not in England. You know, maybe it actually makes more sense to go and get somebody whose goal record is in England right now, like the Cunha deal, like the Mbeumo deal, because those guys are proven in the Prem. It's totally different league. We've seen lots of players, lots of good players, good players, lots of good players come over to the Premier League and struggle. We're talking the Diego Forlans of this world. We're talking the Juan Sebi Verons. You know, Forlan's one of the greatest forwards I've seen, you know, especially for a few years. Unbelievable. When he was over in Spain. Not so much for us. You know, that's what happens sometimes. Like, the Premier League is a tough animal. For some players, just doesn't click. Thoughts on new home kit? You know, it's nice. I like it, you know. It's nice. I like it. I like the black piping on it. It's nice, mate. I give it an 8 out of 10. Boxing Straight Talk says, Gyokeres is a knob. Sack him off. Isaac? Go for Isaac? I mean, okay, but now we're living in Cloud Cuckoo Land, DJ Electric. Man United is not Man United under Fergie. If it was back in the day, yes, we could pinch Isaac. But we can't pinch Isaac right now, mate. We can only pinch our sack. You know, we can't pinch Isaac. We can only pinch our own sack. That's all we can do. We can't sign Isaac from Newcastle. No way. That's exactly who we would go for many years ago, though. Somebody with Premier League experience who is an actual baller, quality player, all-round good player as well. Not just a finisher, but all-round good player. Like, he would have been great for United. But there's no way he's leaving Newcastle for Man United right now, especially when they've got Champions League football. We have to be honest. We can't attract those players right now. Unless Newcastle did not have Champions League football, and we did, and we finished higher than them in the league, there's no way we could sign that sort of a player right now. Yes, Ivor says, Osserman, all out for me. Tell me United are serious. Interesting. Well, let's get on to the Osserman stuff in a moment. Thank you, Russ B, there for subscribing. Really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, you legend. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you're new, give us a subscribe. We're on here tonight at 10 p.m. for an evening rundown as well, guaranteed cheeky little transfer news show. We do one round about 12:30 p.m. every day, so lunchtime live, and then also an evening live. The lunchtime one just runs down all the morning's news, and the evening live, we discuss all the evening's transfer news and stuff in regards to United. So join us about 10 p.m. for the transfer news show tonight as well. We'll be back on then. We're not wrapping up now, by the way. I'm just telling you that's what's going on with the channel. So make sure you do subscribe. Click the bell icon so you don't miss the notifications. We're on here with a lunchtime live and a 10 p.m. live every day. But also, if there is any breaking news, you know, we jump on straight away if there's anything big, anything breaking. So make sure you click the likes, click the subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Maybe we should push someone else up front and strengthen the wings. Diallo? Oh, I don't fancy that, Paul. Thing is, that's a terrible shout, mate. I'll tell you for why, right? Diallo's like one of our most creative players on that right-hand side. He does cause a shitload of problems there. Plus, also, he's quite weak physically. He does get knocked off the ball a little bit. I just don't really think he could be a great striker. Maybe he could. I mean, he's certainly got an eye for goal, but I don't think he'd be a great striker. I think he's best off. It's probably more likely in an Amorim system that he's going to be playing a second fiddle at number 10, but then also playing quite often as an attacking right wing back, because he is good getting wide, cutting in, causing problems, taking players on. He's very good at all that stuff. I think he is very good out in a wide position, lad. Yeah, love that, Paul, lad. Thank you, David. He says, hit the like button, guys. Thank you, David. Right, let's just get on to the Osimhen stuff. So we discussed the Mbeumo stuff. That situation is more or less the same. United just need to get that deal over the line now. Then we can start to relax a little bit. If we've got Mbeumo and we've got Cunha, it's a great start. Not too bothered about Gyokeres then. There's other options. There's Visser, there's, Kluivert, there's who else? There's, Mateta. There's other options. So I'm not too bothered about that, to be fair, as much as I would like to get him in if he prefers Arsenal or it's too much money. Not bothered about it, but Mbeumo needs to be done. Okay, so another player that we are linked to as well because of the Gyokeres news. It was lesser of a link, obviously, up until this came out, but is Viktor Osimhen. Now, Viktor Osimhen, to me, represents not the best value for money. He's an expensive player. He's going to demand big money. It's probably going to be a few £100,000 a week, maybe, or at least £250,000 a week. There's more of a gamble. There's more, there's more of a mercenary vibe about him. There's also more of a sense of we need to get away from that. We need to get away from getting players in who are just coming here for money, who are looking for, the most that they can get, and they don't care what team they play for. That's not really the sort of player I want. I want a player, as I said earlier on, who wants to play and is desperate to play for Manchester United. As much as I think Osimhen is a great player, would he give it his all for us if he got that big paycheck? I don't want him to be another flop or somebody that doesn't live up to the price tag or the wages, and his wages are going to be a lot higher than some other signings we could make, definitely. We're talking about probably 250k a week or something there, minimum, maybe 300,000 in order to get him. Yeah, that's it. Pyramid says Osimhen wants 250k after tax. There you go, exactly right. So let's have a look at this report from Florian Plettenberg before the stream. He said this: Galatasaray remain optimistic about securing the permanent signing of Viktor Osimhen, despite top English clubs having re-entered the race over the past 3 to 4 days. Gala are offering a net annual salary of 15 to 20 million euros. The biggest issue remains the payment structure for the 75 million euro release clause. Napoli want as few instalments as possible. So he's in the range, value-wise, of players we're looking at, definitely. Osimhen's not going to cost too much less than this. But 75 million euros is a fat amount of money still, obviously. And it's putting extra added pressure, and it's going to be big wages. If we have a look at his wages that Gala are offering, I find this quite hard to believe that they're offering this much. Up to 20 million euros. that works out. That's a shitload of money, basically. That's a shitload of money. I don't think we're going to pay him that. We pay players even hang on, what's Rashford on? So Rashford's on 1.4 million a month, which equates to, just probably a similar figure to what's being discussed here, So 1.4 million a month times 10 is obviously, it's 10.4, and then add another 2.8, that's 14.2 million pounds. I could be wrong there, guys. My maths is so it's early for me today. But Rashford there, 14.2 million pounds, and then that's what he's getting paid a season at Manchester United, and Gala offering Osimhen 15 to 20 million euros, which is around about 12 to 15 million pounds. We don't need another player like that, guys. We don't need another player that's on that sort of money. I'm quite surprised that Galatasaray would pay that money. So, again, take this with a pinch of salt. But these are the reports that are coming out here that Gala are offering that sort of money. So if that's what they're offering him, how can we really justify it? It would be a desperation signing from Manchester United, I believe. A desperation signing. And we don't need desperation signings. We need to have a little bit of structure in our wage bill. If you're going to get 350k a week at United, you need to earn it. You need to prove it by being a player here first. We shouldn't be signing any players on 300 Gs a week right now, is what I'm saying. We should be, maybe developing players, buying players who want to be here for less. And if they earn that money, then in the future for the next contract, maybe you can give them a fat premium. But as of right now, it makes 0 sense to do that. Yep. Zoo says, honestly, if it's true, Osimhen wants 250k, just give him already. He's proven, and you need a striker there. You paid Rashford 500 a week, and how much you pay for Sancho and Hojlund? Yeah, well, Hojlund's not that much in terms of wages. Sancho's on a reported 300,000 a week, approximately, and Rashford's on 350k a week. So those are massive figures. Osimhen would be wanting somewhere around that figure, 300 to 350. I see what you're saying, Zoo, but we've just used the examples in the squad, right? This is the reason why you don't do this right now, okay? So I know what you're saying, just pay the money. Pay 300,000, pay 350k. That's what Rashford gets. Why is it any different? I'll tell you why you don't do that now, in my opinion. It's because it ruins the change in the structure of the football club that we're looking for. You just highlighted a few players there, 2 players that should never have been given that money. Rashford down tools, essentially, after he got that 350k a week contract. He also, went out on loan, and we've had to basically pay him to play elsewhere and stuff for part of the season. It's a joke. Sancho's another one. We gave him 300,000 a week, and he hadn't proved anything or done anything at this football club. So we've just basically said, hey, here, get paid like a world megastar, even though you're fucking Accrington Stanley standard. And so it's just crazy, isn't it? And if you do that, you can end up with what's happened with Manchester United, which is we've got 2 want-away players who we can't sell, really. It's hard to sell them anyway, because they're priced out of a move, because their wages are astronomical. They're not even that great. They're average. I mean, Rashford's better than Sancho, obviously, but they're average. They don't have the best mentalities. The price tag is going to be a lot less because of the wages involved, so you can't even get huge amounts of money for them in terms of a transfer move because their wages are ridiculous. It's pricing them out of a move because no other teams are going to pay what we paid them, ridiculous wages, which means that they're almost unsaleable. And then when you do sell them, it's just like you're not getting very much back for it. So honestly, we've got players like that in the squad who are not justifying their wages. We can't take players on right now who are just coming for the money and just coming because we're paying more than anybody else and 350,000 a week. Fuck that noise. I don't want Osimhen. He can go to Gala for the money. 15 to 20 million a year coming out of Manchester United. Fair enough if he's the nuts for us, but I'd have a concern that he's just coming just for the money, mate, and it's just a job for him personally, seeing as he seems to, be interested in moving to Galatasaray. Yeah, and Saudi. There's been lots of talks in Saudi earlier on in the window. Apparently turned down various approaches from Saudi. When you're turning down deals from Saudi, how much money are you actually asking for? Ekitike or Mateta's United best bet. Out of the 2, I'd go for Mateta just because of the Prem experience. Ekitike does look really good, but again, different animal coming into the Premier League. You'd put him on the same wages as Bruno. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. He has done nothing for Manchester United yet. At least Bruno Fernandes, he came in. I think Bruno was only getting 160k a week on his first contract at United. He proceeded to be one of the best players we had for years. And then he earned his contract. He earned his bigger contract, and we gave him that bigger contract, and he's earned it. But Osimhen hasn't earned it. He's not earned it yet. He's not done enough, and he's not done anything for us, but he's not done enough, if you ask me, to be receiving that. Omar W, thank you so much for subscribing, you legend. I appreciate you, Omar. Thank you, Brett Gordon. I appreciate that. You're a legend as well, lad. Nice one. Ollie Watkins, I don't hate the link, mate. I don't hate the link. Again, Premier League proven experience. He's got a good goal record. He's a good player, homegrown talent. Maybe there could be a Rashford swap done. I wouldn't hate that, Omar, lad. I would not hate that. I think Ollie Watkins would be a good addition to the squad, definitely. UK Darren fan, big up, lad. United fans enjoy pain. That's how we ended up with Hojlund when Kane was right there. There, exactly. That's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely, yeah. And that's why we let De Gea go and sign Onana. Craziness. Well, actually, it's not United fans. It's that melter Erik ten Hag with his awful judgments. That's what's cost us mainly, is him signing these players and letting the players go that we actually should have let go of, such as De Gea. We look at Delap, which I'm glad we swerved because we would have needed another striker. I agree, yes, we need another striker as well as Delap. If you want a top-class striker, unfortunately, you have to pay for it. Gyokeres wasn't going to accept peanuts. No, fair enough, but the difference is, right, Gyokeres, in terms of salary, you have to be realistic about what he's on now and what he can hope for. The difference is Man United would probably end up paying between 200,000 and 240k a week for Gyokeres' wages, and they'd probably pay, they'd have to pay Viktor Osimhen a lot more than that. That's just the reality, because the fact, obviously, Osimhen's wages at Napoli are big, and Gyokeres' wages at Sporting are comparatively small. So that's the reason. It's like it's easier to pay less to Gyokeres than it is to Osimhen. Just like it's easier to pay less to Luke Shaw than it is to Rashford. You know, neither of those players are wanted, by the way, or, you know, no, neither of those players are going to be sold, probably. But I'm just saying, Luke Shaw's on less money, and it's just, that's how it is. You can't, it depends on what you can actually leverage for yourself, and unfortunately, you know, some can get more than others because of what they're currently on now, or whatever. Bang Average says, Velvet, Shaw is on shitloads, absolute waste of space, sack him off. He is absolutely awful, mate. Shaw is on 6 figures a week, and he is poodoo magoo. He is a Frei Bentos FC player over in Uruguay. That's who he should be sold to, lad. Definitely. Ship him off with his Tinoper in tow. But in regards to him, yeah, I mean, obviously, he's another example. He's another fine example, David, of somebody you cannot sell due to the shit amounts of money we put them on. Like, just ruining our ability to move players on if they don't work out. Shaw's on crazy money for the player that he is. He's literally, you know, a tubby injury-prone mess. As far as defenders go these days, nobody's going to touch him. And even if he was on 50k a week, still, teams would think twice about it because he's an injury-prone mess. So there you go. As far as being able to sell him goes, no chance. I missed Sly's super chat. Oh, thank you very much, Sly. Hey, yo, Adrian, I did it. Ain't nothing going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Sly, thank you so much, mate. Sly getting in there raw with a super chat. He says, for Gyokeres, when they say they want 80 million, is that just to release him from his current contract? How much does he want for his contract with United? Yes, that's correct, Sly. That is literally just to buy him from Sporting. So that's the reported amount that Sporting want to receive in terms of a transfer fee for his services. So you've got to pay 80 million to them, although it probably won't be 80 million. Let's say 70 million, but they're apparently holding out for 80 million. Let's say 80 million. You've got to pay 80 million to them, and then you have to come up with the agent's fees. You know, they're going to take millions as well. Then there's signing on bonus for the player. That might be a couple of million. And then there's all sorts of other little guff bits and bobs. But then in regards to the wages as well, you're talking about the best part of £1 million a month to bring in a player like Gyokeres. So 250k a week, somewhere in that region. The best part of that anyway. So you're talking about a massive commitment, mate. You're talking about hundreds of millions over a 5-year contract. It's crazy, isn't it? So 80 million up front, 12 million a year, say. I mean, you are talking about a massive investment. It almost just doesn't quite add up for 80 mil. Now, if they're holding out for that, then I don't think we should pay it anyway. You know, 60 million quid, aka 70 million euros, that should be the absolute ceiling for Gyokeres. What about you guys? How much do you think Sporting can get for Gyokeres? How much do you think Sporting will sell him for this summer? I'm saying 70 million euros, which is 60 million quid. I don't think they get much more than that for him because he's coming from Sporting. He's going to want to leave. Sooner or later, he's going to start kicking up a massive fuss. And then what? They're going to have a massive want-away player in their team, and he's not going to be no good. He's not going to be getting 54 and 52 if he doesn't even want to be there anymore. So that's it, really. They kind of got to accept a bit less than that. They might be saying they want 80, but the reality is it's probably going to be closer to 60 or 70 million euros. 55, 60 million pounds, somewhere like that. Yep. Let's see what you guys are saying. Daz Salford. Yeah, thank you so much for that super chat there, by the way, boss. I appreciate that a lot. Get in there, Mr. Sly. Thank you very much, Sly lad. Okay. Yes, I answered the question. Thank you, Sly. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to miss that. Sometimes you think United fans deserve someone like Rasmus Hojlund. Calm down, superstar lad. Calm down. No need for that, is there? There's no need for that, lad. $85 million, 80 million euros. Shaw's and Austin Allegro. 60 million plus 10 add-ons. That's the figure that's been going around. That makes sense, yeah, in terms of euros. $45 million. What? $60 million. Why are we talking in dollars, guys? Why are we talking in dollars? We don't talk in dollars on this channel, mate. I don't even know why we're talking in euros, actually. We talk in pound sterling. That's what we need to start talking in, pound sterling on this channel, guys. Anyway. Right, I haven't even got onto the Hojlund stuff. So let me get onto the Hojlund stuff. So yes, Osimhen to Galatasaray, yeah, yada, 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 whatever. Seems like there's a real basis for that potentially happening if they're prepared to play that release clause. Huge release clause, but also the amount of money in terms of an annual salary is huge. If they're prepared to pay that, then I'm sure he'll be up for going there, seeing as he went out on loan there to them this season just gone. let's have a look at this Hojlund news, guys. So bear with me, and then we're going to get into the Q&A at the end of this stream. So sorry if I missed everyone's comments. Obviously, I've been waffling a lot here, a lot of spiel. But we're going to have a Q&A in a bit. As always, keep hitting the subscribe button, keep hitting the like button, smash like, smash subscribe. Yes, we're only 9 people away from 90,700. Is there 9 legends watching who haven't subscribed yet? Hit the sub up, it's free. Okay, so this is the latest on Hojlund, guys. This is from Gazzetta in Italy and Core Sport, who report that Inter Milan's pushing to sign Hojlund after getting his approval. They're offering a loan with a buy option, but Manchester United wants a permanent deal worth 45 million euros. This is what's been reported, that they're interested in a loan to buy option. There's also thoughts that it's accelerating this deal. Inter Milan now accelerating a deal for Rasmus Hojlund after he accepted their proposal. So there's some discussions there. Apparently, I mean, obviously, take it with a pinch of salt again, guys. But there are reports suggesting that Hojlund's actually verbally agreed to essentially join Inter. Maybe that means a rough idea in terms of wages. Obviously, nothing been thrashed out there. And just idea of the project. He's happy to join them, basically. So if that's true, then, you know, we need to get him off the books. I think, obviously, a loan move is not the ideal scenario for us. We'd be better off getting the money back to be able to reinvest that and replace him with another striker. Like, if you could sell Hojlund for £35 million, then that money can be spent on a player like a Mateta or a Visser, or, yeah, okay, at least put towards those players, you know. So, there you go. Or a Justin Kluivert there. There you go, Lucky Singh. Yep, there you go. Yep. Mbeumo bid getting done now. Sell Rasmus Hojlund. There you go. So, the difficulty with Rasmus, it may just be difficult to sell him, though, outright right now, because he is on the back of a rather shite season. But from Inter's point of view, he does have experience in Italy. He does have that ability when it comes to you know, scoring in Italy. He's done it when he was younger, so who's to say he couldn't do it now? Like, it's easier over there for him, I think. It's a bit easier. There's too much pressure at United. He can't quite handle the Prem. He hasn't got the chops for it. He's not ready-made. Maybe in a few years' time. Look at Gyokeres back in the day. He was at bloody Coventry or whatever. You know, it's not always the right time. And right now, it's definitely not the right time for Rasmus. He just doesn't have the chops to be able to score goals heavily at the top of the Premier League in terms of goal scorers. He's only got a handful, literally 3 or 4, didn't he? 3 or 4 pissing goals, guys. This season just gone. What a mess. So, but going to Inter, you know, it's a great opportunity for him. It could give him, obviously, the chance to score goals and to re-establish himself as a decent player. He's still going to be in and around the Denmark setup for many, many years. It's a chance to progress. He is 22 end of the day, right? So, I'll just say this. On the Hojlund thing, I'm kind of like, I'm in two minds. I'm not really bothered. I would rather we sold him to get the money so we can reinvest it and replace him. But ultimately, I don't really care if it's just a loan deal with an obligation to buy or an option to buy. I don't really care, because even if we can't sell him in a year's time, if he's gone out on loan and done well then, you know, it's going to improve his overall position to be able to sell him in the future. Or maybe he's going to come back and be a much better player for us. So if he goes, his contract is until 2030, right? If he was to go out on loan for a year and do well at Inter, there's a chance he comes back in a year and he's actually a good player for us again. There's a possibility. He looks awful right now. He doesn't have the magic eye or that goal scoring ability naturally that we want to see, really. He just doesn't seem to have it. But you never know. If he goes over there, gets his confidence back, does well, in a year's time he could be a completely different animal. Plus he is young and players develop at different times. Look at Gyokeres, as we said. Now he's a goal-scoring phenom. So from that perspective, it might actually make more sense for United to loan him out and get him back in a year's time if he's done well, or just sell him at the time. You know, and the reality is it doesn't really matter. It would be nice if we could get him sold and get the money so that we can invest it right now. That's 100% true. But also, it doesn't really make much of a difference long term, I don't think. So there you go. Hey, Tactical Devils, how you doing, lad? Yes, smash the like button. Give us a massive thumbs up. How you doing today? Thank you for getting in. Smash that like, everybody. Help us get to 300 likes. We're nearly there. Help us get to 300. Nice one. So, Inter Milan. Let's ask the live chat, guys, very quickly. Let's ask the live chat, right? Loan, keep, or sell Rasmus Hojlund. Get your thoughts and opinions in there. Loan, keep, or sell. So, my preference is most definitely sell. Definitely. It is. I still think sell him for £35 million. Get him off the books. Sign someone else. Sign Visser or someone. Sign someone else. Don't keep him because he's rubbish That's my honest opinion on him. But I suppose he could develop and be good in the future, so a loan is not the worst idea, especially if there's an obligation to buy, obviously, or an option to buy. It might not be brilliant for us right now to receive the money right now, but it's like guaranteed money potentially in a year, or close to guaranteed. Obviously, we had that issue with Sancho and Chelsea, but at least you get some sort of an out clause, buyout or whatever. Keep, says UK Darren. Loan, keep. Keep? Why are you guys saying keep? Why are you guys saying keep? This guy literally scored 3 bloody goals this last season just gone. Loan, sell. Keep. What? Loan, keep, sell, loan, sell. Keep, sell, loan, keep. You don't want that cash bottle job nowhere near Inter Milan. Sell, get money, loan, keep because I'm a City fan. Put Hojlund on Auto Trader or in the bangers section. Loan and see how it goes. Yep, loan with an option to buy. Sell, loan, sell. Yes, I mean, look, sell or loan for me. I don't want to keep the guy. Because ultimately, we know we're going to have to sign a new player. We've gone over the Gyokeres links. We've gone over the fact that if we can't get him, we'll be looking at somebody else, maybe a Mateta, maybe a Visser, who knows, Cliver, who knows. Just another forward player up there, possibly. So there's other options there. But from, for this guy to play a backup role, he's not going to get many opportunities because there'll be somebody else coming in. So does he even want to do that? Surely he wants to play. He's on the back of a stinker of a season, one of the worst ever for anyone that I've ever seen. So if he wants to get that past him and move on and get the confidence back and kick on as a footballer, surely this man has to go. He has to go. He has to want to move because he's not going to be the number 1 striker at United next season. No chance. And if he is, well, then we've had an absolute debacle. So because there's no way that's happening. Loan, says Aaron. Yeah, maybe makes sense. Maybe makes sense to get him out on loan, see how he can do. Develop him over there in Serie A, see how he gets on. I mean, it's a no-brainer for Inter. They definitely take him on loan. They would absolutely take him on loan and see what he can do. But but they may not want an obligation to buy. They might just want an option to buy. Omar says loan, but sell if we can't get any clear outgoings with the others. Terminate, sell, humiliate him. I don't care about that rubbish player. All right, calm down there, G. No need for the humiliate there, lad. But fair enough, he has not been a good player for us. He has been rubbish, and, we should probably look to sell him and get somebody better. United has to be more ruthless with players like this, sadly. And Onana, what the fuck's going on with there? Why is Onana still here at Man United? Why has he not been loaned out to Kettering Town? Or, obviously I'm joking, but why is there no discussions about Onana anywhere? Is it just because no other team wants him because he's absolutely awful? Surely there's got to be a team out there that's interested in Andre. But I'm just saying, this is it. We have to try and get rid of certain players that are not on. We've got to be more ruthless. Onana needs to be moved on, even if we take a massive financial hit on it. And then same goes for Rasmus Hojlund. We have to replace these players who are not quite up to the standard and get new ones in. Yep, new players around him, Piggy, might help. True, after bottling Serie A losing 5-0 in Champions League final, surely Inter need to improve a lot better than Rasmus. Well, he would be going in there not to be the main striker, I think, didn't he, D? That's a fair point there. He would be basically second choice, wouldn't he? Excuse me, I got the hiccups. He would be a squad player, which he might be second choice there. But United, he's literally going to be third choice. Probably anyway. Those putting keep you aren't United fans. I'm confused about that as well. Quick sell him on FIFA. Ivor says people missing the point with Hojlund. Needed a top striker to learn from. Too much weight on a young player's shoulders. Now, you know what? We've actually gone over that a lot on this channel, Ivor, to be fair. We've said that a lot. We've said that in reality, he should have never been given the mantle of being the number 1 striker for Manchester United. He should have been the third choice player coming in. Or at least backup. He should have been learning from somebody with much more experience and getting the opportunities here and there. He shouldn't have been thrown in at the deep end, expected to swim in a torrent or a current or a whatever sinkhole. No, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's difficult, United. It's like it's bad. Yep. The problem is, will Rasmus learn in Italy for a season? Won't develop him and prepare him for the Premier League. We'll be back to square one. I think it will definitely help him compared to now, because what's he learning right now in the Prem? How to be really shit every single week. I don't think that's good for his confidence or anything either, is it? I mean, you make a point, he can't necessarily do it in the Premier League, right? He certainly can't now. Going over to Serie A will maybe improve him. It will maybe give him the confidence. He'll score goals again, get more time, more opportunities, and he will probably be in a better place in a year's time. But then when he comes back to United, is he just going to go back to being that player that can't do it in the Premier League again? That's true. But ultimately, experience is important. Inter's a very good team that they'll be playing in Europe and stuff as well. Like, he will be surely better in a year's time if he goes out on loan and gets games. And well, actually, I say that. There's no guarantees at all that he's going to be better. Absolutely no guarantees at all. So, very much true, good point you've made there. There is a possibility it does nothing for him or us. But I think it will. I personally think it actually will do quite well for him because, his confidence is so low right now. It's incredibly low. Whereas, at other... Sorry, I've just completely lost my train of thought there. Paper ashtray. He's like an ashtray on a motorbike, lad. You know what I mean? Ashtray on a motorbike. Pointless. Anyway, right, okay, anyway, so Gashmas Hojlund to Inter deal is potentially accelerated, maybe a loan move, maybe a transfer, probably more realistic a loan with an obligation to buy or an option to buy. We'll have a look on that one. We'll see what happens over the coming days. Let's do a quick rundown of what we've discussed in this stream. Then I'm going to get into the chat for a Q&A for a bit. As always, thank you everyone who's in here. We're going to get into everyone's comments at the end here. Smash that like button. We're nearly at 300 likes. Give us a subscribe if you're new. We're nearly at 90,700. So give us a subscribe. We're 5 people away from 90,700 subscribers. Get yourself subscribed if you're new to the channel. Right, let's get stuck in. Oh, also, I've got a repost. Shout out everyone who's reposted us on X. Big ups to the reposted. We've had 8 reposters. Thank you so much to these guys. John Boy Cat, Aaron Homeyard, Aidan Vickery, Craig GC, Johnny M, Kieran, the Mario 55, and Sanjay Ramatar. Thank you, legends, so much for reposting and sharing the stream around. Appreciate that. Okay, let's get into the rundown, then we'll get into the chat. So Gyokeres, priority to join Arsenal, reported last night by Fab and various other outlets. Gyokeres has not said no to Man United, but those close to United feel he's given priority to Arsenal. This is via Fab also. There is an understanding that perhaps Gyokeres' camp suspects they're being used as leverage by Arsenal in the club's pursuit of Benjamin Sesko. While Gyokeres leans toward an Arsenal move, he remains open to joining Man United. Player is said to be frustrated his preference has been made public. Also, there is a report from Record in Portugal, who were the outlet that reported yesterday morning in regards to the Arsenal news. Obviously, take it with a pinch of salt. It's Record Portugal. But still, they did obviously say that early doors yesterday. Now what they're saying is Arsenal froze negotiations for Gyokeres due to inflated price. Sporting are asking for 80 million euros. Arsenal have now removed Gyokeres from their priority list, which doesn't really add up, to be fair, because the talks with Sesko have been already quite extensive, and they're looking at paying 80 to 100 million for him. So, there you go. Obviously, take it with a pinch of salt, but perhaps Arsenal have froze negotiations as of right now with Gyokeres due to inflated price. We know from Gyokeres' standpoint, he probably is open to joining Arsenal. Let's face it, they do have Champions League. They are up there. It's probably an easier place to go right now than Man United, who are really struggling with no guarantees. So that's the latest on Gyokeres. It's not dead in the water for Man United, but the feeling is his priority is to join Arsenal. And unless that changes, unless Arsenal get Sesko, then we're probably looking at other signings now, probably looking at other players to bring in as an option. Maybe we're looking at Mateta, Visser, Cliver, who knows, Duran, who really knows. We're looking at some other options, probably. Osserman, obviously, is another one, Osserman. So there's like a secondary... There's a short list, and obviously Gyokeres seems to be Amarim's first choice, but if we can't get him, if he goes to Arsenal, then surely there's other signings we have to make. We just need to address that position. And in regards to Mbeumo, there's no concerns really there. He's told all suitors, including Tottenham, that he only wants Manchester United. This is via Ben Jacobs. I feel like that's pretty much going to get done. It's just a case of Brentford and United agreeing that deal. And from United's perspective now, we have to just get the deal done. Pay the extra few million quid and get it done. Because we are leaving the door open for Spurs or other football clubs. And there is obviously a concern that Tottenham would be going in for him and interested because of Thomas Frank, and it makes sense if you're Mbeumo with the London link and the Thomas Frank link and the Champions League link at Spurs. It makes all the sense in the world. So we just need to pay the extra money to Brentford and get this deal done and immediately finished, and then hopefully we can get a good number 9. Doesn't have to be Gyokeres. And Mbeumo and Cunha coming in would be a big boost. And it doesn't have to be Gyokeres, but there you go. Other news is that Galatasaray and Osimhen are, close to maybe agreeing something there. At the moment, Florian Plettenberg reporting that Galatasaray remain optimistic about securing the permanent signing of Viktor Osimhen, despite top English clubs having re-entered the race over the past 3 to 4 days. Gala are offering a net salary of 15 to 20 million euros. The biggest issue remains the payment structure for the €75 million release clause. Napoli want as few instalments as possible. So he's another one that's on our list. But again, not top of my list because of the fact that maybe he's just coming for the money. And we're talking about huge money here as well. Huge money, which I don't really think Man United should be paying for anyone right now coming in. We need to sign a different class of player, a different standard of player, somebody who's sort of desperate to play for Manchester United and ready to step up, who's not going to cost the earth. And then the other story we've just spoken about is Hojlund to Inter gathering a bit of space. Inter's pushing to sign Hojlund after getting his approval. They're offering a loan with an option to buy, but Manchester United wants a permanent deal worth €45 million. This is via Gazzetta Italia and Core Sport there. And then also just via Core Sport more says Inter Milan are now accelerating a deal for Rasmus Hojlund after he accepted their proposal. So those are the latest bits and bobs of news we've got for today, guys. I am now going to get into the live chat. So have your say now, folks. Get your thoughts and opinions in there. Get your thoughts in and we'll get stuck into the live chat for a good bit then. Also, as I say, hit the likes, hit the subscribe, all that stuff, and get yourself involved. All right, then, let's do this. Selo Nana to Leeds. Got to be a team out there interested. I would imagine an Italian team would be interested big time as well. Paul Warby says, maybe that's why we can't sign anyone. The players thinking him in nets. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Like and sub, thank you, Daz, lad. Appreciate you, dude. I want us getting Justin Kluivert talks, then go tell Brentford, don't mug us off. I like your style. I like your style a lot, lad. Yeah. If you Pig, I just banned somebody else for racism slurs. Okay, I think I saw that. If maybe on that particular instance, because people don't understand. Like I've had literally some of my mods and people, they don't understand that they can't use that rhyming scheme with Andre Onana's name, mate. So maybe give them a warning, and if they do it again, then ban for that. But outright racism, yes, definitely ban them. But for that, somebody might just be a bit of a dense individual. And, and say that and think they're being funny. And then, we should probably warn them first not to do it ever again. And then if they do it again, then ban them. Because, I've actually had people who I consider friends say that stupidity in here. Don't say it, guys. Don't say anything in regards to Andre Onana there. It's got racist connotations, you fools. Right, anyway, we're going to get stuck into the chat here. Let's see what he's saying. Let him go to Arsenal. Yeah, let him go to Arsenal there. Yeah, sure. Go to Arsenal, mate. Absolutely. If he wants to go there, then I've got no problem with looking for somebody else. Ultimately, we want players who want them. So maybe if you unban that last one there, Aaron, if you can, and then just time him out and warn him, because otherwise we'll be banning 20 people a stream, mate, for saying that, to be honest. Or a watch-along, at least. At least in a watch-along, mate, when he's made a mistake. All people fucking come out, mate, and think they're being funny, but they're not. Aaron, let's go. Why has it been so quiet about United since the Mbeumo first bid? Just want some good news. Yeah, I know. It's all about Brentford wanting more money, mate. That's the truth. They just want 70 million or close to that. They know that they have got United bent over a barrel. They know we're desperate. They know they can use... thank you, Aaron. You're a legend. They know they can use other... what's the word? Yeah, but we only give them one warning, by the way, Aaron. If somebody says that about Andre... we only give them one warning, lad, and then we ban them, okay? Because we do not tolerate any sort of racism around here. But unfortunately, I have had a couple of even moderators say it. So, there's some, I don't know. It's just some stupid thing people say that really annoys me. Easy and Semenyo, yes, great links. If we can't get Mbeumo, Easy and Semenyo probably be on the agenda. That makes a little bit of sense. Gyokeres and Osimhen, I can't see them signing for us, Pig. Me neither now, Paul. If Gyokeres wants to go to Arsenal and he needs Champions League football and a more settled team, he's going to go there, isn't he? If they're going to actually bid for him, which they might not at the moment, mate, they might just be using this as leverage to get that Sesko deal done. Piggy, who do you think United should buy as a striker? Honestly, if we can't get Gyokeres, honestly, I do quite like Mateta. I do like Visser. And I also wouldn't say no to Osimhen. Osimhen is a great player. I'm just not so sure if it's the right fit for us right now. But he is a great player. I wouldn't say no. Like, out of all of them, you'd expect him to get a shitload of goals for us, Osimhen, to be fair, if he did well. But there's no guarantees that's going to happen, mate. Agents just as bad as the players. Yep, it's vital the fans back hammer him. He's making great signings so far. Nice one. Rasmus will make a great beach player. And Onana needs to go now. I don't even think he would be good on the beach, lad. No. Get Mbeumo, Cliver, easy or a winger, open play for us. Yeah, that's an interesting shout. Yeah, no, yeah, it's true. We don't necessarily need to get number 9, do we? If we had, like, I mean, let's face it, Mbeumo can play at number 9 if you need him to. Cliver, these guys. It's not a bad shout. You need to focus on young players that can be developed, not top-of-the-range players that want instant success. Man United is in rebuild. That is reality. Yes and no a little bit there, Minea. I feel you. Previously, I'd have said yes, but because we've actually got quite a lot of good young players in the team, we do need a bit of experience now, actually, because you can't do it all with kids, you know, unless you're Fergie. You never win anything with kids. Obviously, Alan Hansen's famous quotes there was wrong, so you can. But right now we need a mixture, I think. So we do need some prime players who are 25, 26, 27. You know, not saying get players who are 30, 31. No, I'm saying get players who are in the middle 20s. You know, the likes of, like, if you look at De Ligt's age, if you look at Mazraoui's age, they're all the right sort of players. If you look at, obviously, yes, Mateus Cunha and Mbeumo, those sorts of players are the right players because they're developed, but they still got more to give, and they're a little bit older and experienced, which is important. We've seen firsthand what can happen with a player like Rasmus Hojlund coming in, who's young, without the experience. Experience is very important, mate. Experience is very important. Yeah, that's it. Thornstar, I genuinely believe Rasmus has a way better season with Mbeumo and Cunha. I'd still get another striker, though, and keep Hojlund to learn. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were just talking about that, actually. We had that on screen there. Jarvis, yeah, not the best, but they did obviously report yesterday morning, before anybody pretty much, that there was the understanding that, you know, Arsenal had become a priority for Gyokeres. Not necessarily, they did actually report they rejected United, which is not really the case, is it? He's not rejected United. He's not said no to United. He's just maybe got a preference of Arsenal. So yes, they are bullshit, aren't they? But there you go. But obviously, that, you know, like I said many times, you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it will stick. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but we're using them as a source today because obviously they did have that sort of half right yesterday. Players see United as a retirement home, not a football club. Thank you very much, T-Mill. Villa are in big PSR trouble. We need to pick off a couple of their players. That would be a great shout, Superstar. Yes, I agree with you. That would be certainly... I mean, Ollie Watkins would be a welcome addition to the squad. Smash a one, guys, if you take Ollie Watkins at United, you know, for the right price, or maybe with Rashford going the other way. Something like that. It could be worked out. And we smashed 300 likes too. Thank you, everyone, for hitting the like button on this stream. Legends. PSG, the best team in the world, play without a striker. Interesting shout, Thorn. So, yeah, you see, so, like, we could just get the forwards and have them all interchange, basically. Players like, yeah, like you say, Easy, Cliver, Mbeumo, these sorts of guys. They know full well what they're saying. Yeah, thank you, X-Man. Pig, great stream again. Love these streams. Living in Australia as it's a bit earlier. My milestone 18th birthday tomorrow. Got a great day planned with family. Oh, good day from down on. I hope you have a bonza day. Happy 18th birthday, mate. Oh, yeah. Get a cheeky tinny open for me, mate. Chuck another shrimp on the barbie. Whatever. Nice one, X-Man. Appreciate you. You're a legend. Good, man. Enjoy your 18th birthday tomorrow, mate. That's awesome, lad. Happy birthday to you. If we're lucky, would be the first youngster to go. Ivan Toney. Is Ivan Toney going to come to us for anything less than a huge amount of money? Surely he's on huge money now. He's on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, tax-free. Like, surely he's on huge money now. He's not going to turn that down, I don't think, to want to come to United for a lot less money. He's on more money out there than what he would be on at United. He literally left the Premier League to go and chase the money over there as well. Yeah. Maybe if we got a third choice, there's nothing to say he could become a legend. True. We still need players to replace Lindelof and Evans. True, we could do with one centre-back signing. I think that's absolutely right. At least one. Can I ask you, no one has answered me, if Glazers pay off some of the debt, would we be able to buy more players? It's actually, it doesn't even matter about that, really. You could, they've had us languished in debt for the whole time that they've owned the club. And right now we're like $1 billion in debt or whatever. You can always buy players when you're in debt. So paying off the debt would definitely help us have a better financial position. If they paid off the debt, if the Glazers paid off the debt, and not the club, if the Glazers shithouses paid off the debt, then yes, we would be in a fantastic position compared to what we are now, because we'd have more available. Remember, we're paying, I think it's like, is it 40 million a year No. I can't remember the exact figure. It's somewhere in that region of just interest payments on loans and loan repayments and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. We're paying a lot of money out every single year just for the debt that they have us languished in, lad. So without that, it would free up more finances and give us the ability to buy more players. That is true. And also, in terms of like the financial situation, the PSR and all that sort of stuff, obviously Manchester United loses money due to debts. So we lose money due to servicing these debts and paying the interest on these repayments. If they didn't have that, then definitely that would help with the overall money we're actually allowed to spend as well. So that's true. That's true, but it's not going to happen, is it? Arsenal will thaw out and change their minds. Oh, really? Yes, Robert Hugh. I have to go drive 25 miles for Father's Day. See you all later. That's awesome, Robert. Enjoy it, lad. Enjoy it. And much love to everybody who's celebrating Father's Day. And also, love hearts in the chat for anybody who's lost their father. You know what I mean? Goodness me. 25 miles is not a long drive to see your daddy, Robert, lad. Get in there, mate. Neil says, I read that Garnacho signed new contract till 2028. True or not? Not true, mate. Absolutely not true. All our signings could be from the home store this window. I mean, he might have you talked about his previous contract that he signed. So he signed a contract, a short one, he's got a few years left, doesn't he? If that's what you mean. But he hasn't signed one now, recently or anything. Yes, let's go. We need an experienced goal machine up top, but Man United need to finalise and Mbeumo deal ASAP because I'll be sick if we fumble that one. That's it, really. That's the key thing. Get that one over the line and Mbeumo to Man United finished, and then jobs are good and that. Then we can start thinking about what striker we can get, what goalkeeper we can get. But Mbeumo's 95% done. It just needs to be finalised. That would be the big loss. Never mind Gyokeres. I don't care Gyokeres to Arsenal. If Mbeumo went to Spurs or any other football club, that would be the big kick in the bollocks. That would be a real new all-time low for Man United in the transfer window because we're so close to getting this deal done. Swap deal, yep. So a lot of people would have Ollie Watkins there, to be fair. I respect that. Get in there, John Robert. He says, Jesus Christ is my father. God bless you all. Love. Hey, much love to you there, John Robert. Thank you so much for the positivity and the love there, John Robert. Much love. How about Jonathan David Pig? Definitely. Jonathan David is a great shout for an addition to the club, available for not very much money, obviously on a free. Okay, you're going to have to pay fees and wages and all that. But actually, I'd say yes, but probably not as the first choice striker. As a second choice striker to replace an outgoing Hojlund, definitely would be a great addition, wouldn't he? That's crazy, isn't it? Deborah says, yeah, £340k a week is crazy, mate, crazy money. You read that Juve are making an offer for Gyokeres as well. Interesting. Your main think, bud, 62.2 million Mbeumo. I think they'll make the deal about that as well, be in keeping with the Cunha deal. To all the fathers, happy Father's Day. You are honoured to be a father. Cherish it. Yes, get in there, Ivor. Yeah, happy Father's Day, everyone. Warn Brentford, if you don't sell us, go and get easy Kluivert. Precisely that, and that is probably what will happen there. Players like Semenyo, players like Kluivert, players like Easy, players like Mateta, Visser, they're all going to be bandied around, aren't they? They're all going to be on the shortlist if we can't get Gyokeres. Or Mbeumo, I should say. It's not really a big issue, I suppose. We could just get somebody else. But Mbeumo is obviously the choice for Amorim, and he makes a lot of sense because he's so robust, and he scored 20 goals and 8 assists last season in the Prem, which is brilliant. Even Mitrovic is ready to reduce his wages. Very interesting. Mitrovic, a couple of years back, I'd have had him definitely in the squad. Right now, no. Hello there. No worries, Gazwad. Yeah, it's quite a nice day, mate. Enjoy it, lad. Enjoy it. That's awesome. Cutting the grass. Lovely. 100 million dimming. Can Jesus Christ play up front? Steady on there, Craig. Steady on there. Blasphemer! Steady on there, Craig. I don't know, mate. It would, we need a miracle. We definitely need a miracle at the club. So Jonathan Davies, a no-brainer as a backup. I agree with you, Ivor. Yep. That way we're going to this now. You don't care where Yoko goes now. Nah, if he doesn't want United or he prefers Arsenal, then I don't want sloppy seconds either. Florian said Bayern wants Kluivert, so blame Ten Hag for signing. Oh, Bayer Leverkusen wants Kluivert, so blame Ten Hag for signing more Dutch players. Mate, isn't it annoying? Come on, Ten Hag. Why don't you come and sign some of these shithouses you bought Man United? Why don't you want Hojlund? Why don't you want Anthony? Onana, etc. Come and buy them again, you melt. I think he's learned his lesson there with those mugs. We need 2 strikers. Yes, we do, Ivor. We need a main guy and we need a backup guy. That's true. And Mbeumo and Cunha is a vital combo. Teams won't know which side of the pitch to defend. Hey, you know what I would do? Yeah, great shout. Exactly there. You're absolutely right. But you know what I would do? Honestly, no joke. There's an easy solution here. So you sign somebody with the Premier League experience who's going to play number 9 all the time, which will be somebody like Mateta or Visser. Okay, it's not ideal, But that's what you could do for not a crazy amount of money. And then, beyond that, you sign a backup on a free. Now, that could either be Jonathan David or Jamie Vardy, but just somebody that you can get for basically nothing, who's going to play a backup and occasionally score goals for you. They're not going to start. They're just going to come off the bench sometimes, and they're just going to play a handful of games. But ultimately, they can still score goals. That is, then you don't even have to spend that much money. And that means you can free up money in the squad to then go and sign a wing-back, a centre-back, a midfielder if you need to, a goalkeeper. We don't have to spend 80 million on one striker, to be fair. You know what I mean? but obviously we want to get as good a striker as we possibly can, so we're prepared to spend the money. But we don't have to. Yeah, swap deal to Napoli, Gashmus Onana for McSauce. Love it. Mateta, very good player. Yeah, I rate Mateta as well. And I think he got, 14 goals in the Prem last season. Not bad. Yes, let's go. Stephen Shipman just woke up. Welcome in the stream, you legend. How you doing? Griffin, he says, don't know whether he all will get easy. Bayern Munich might express some interest in him, especially at the opportunity returning him with Michael Olise. A fair play, yeah. I mean, there should be a lot of players interested in Easy. And also all those other players we've mentioned. There'll be a lot of players interested in Semenyo and Cliver and all these guys. Yeah, no, Sancho's stuck with us, Simon. Impossible to move him on, really. Probably a loan deal with us paying half of his wages is on the cards for him. Yeah. No, we're not mocking at all, John, mate. We're not mocking at all, mate. We respect. This is a Christian nation, lad. What are you talking about, ultimately? So we respect it. Plus, also, everybody's got their own religious beliefs. We welcome everybody in here, lad, To be fair, granted, nobody else other than you is ramming it down anybody else's necks, but we don't, we welcome it, though. Come and buy them again, you melt, says Ivor. Yes, exactly. Thank you for subscribing, Puffin. Really appreciate you, legend. Yes, that way we do deal Brentford. We will warn you if you don't sell to us. Fabrizio, let's have a little look. Thank you very much there, Thornster. Let me go and have a look at what Fabrizio said here, lad. Just now, check. Okay, thank you. Let's have a little look at Fabrizio's latest update. Okay. Hang on. I'm not seeing it, Thornster, lad. I'm not seeing it, Thornster, mate. So I've only got, Fabrizio Romano, have you been done? Have you been done up by one of those fake fabs? I'm only seeing his last post from 2 hours ago. So, what are you referring to, lad? Or is it on Insta or something? Let us know. I don't see any updates either, Debasis. I'm trying to find it. Breaking news. What's the breaking news, Jamie, lad? What is it? Thornster, lad. You best be right on this occasion, otherwise you've just lost your abilities to tell me about breaking news. Do you know what I'm saying, Thornster? Oh, Hugo Ikatike, refresh. Okay, hang on, I'm refreshing. Nah, there's nothing, mate. There's nothing from Fab on Twitter. Are you joking me? Where? Hang on a second, dear lad. Hold on. Let me have a little look here. Oh, this is from Florian Plettenberg, lad. Is this what you're talking about? I've got one from Florian, lad. Hang on a second. Let's have a look at this. I can't see it there. But no, he's actually not trolling. He's read it wrong. It's Florian Plettenberg. You've had a mare there, Thornster. But you actually are spot on, so don't worry. You've still got the job, mate. You've still got the job, Thornster. Thank you, Thornster. No worries. I understand. You've got it wrong there, lad. It happens. Okay. It was actually Florian Plettenberg who's done it. It's still Sky Germany this time around that has put it. Oh, hang on. That's the wrong one. Wait a second, guys. Give me a second. Save as. And let's go with this one here. And then we'll pop it up on the screen. So, yes, this is the report here from Florian Plettenberg from a minute ago. From Sky Germany, anyway. Which basically says this. Manchester United want to sign Hugo Ekitike regardless of Matheus Cunha. As they are still looking for a proper number 9. Regardless of Matheus Cunha. What does that mean? As they are still looking for a proper number 9. Liverpool remain fully in the race. Chelsea are also still involved. No agreements or decisions yet. Club-to-club talks between Man United and Eintracht Frankfurt began last week, as previously revealed. Okay, so, sounds promising. Obviously, he's another one of these players we've been linked with. We talked about this the last couple of days with Hugo Ekitike. And, he does look very good. But again, it's another bit of a risk with somebody coming in who's relatively young and inexperienced, who doesn't have Premier League proven experience. That is an issue. So, I don't really... What does that mean, by the way? United want to sign Ekitike regardless of Matheus Cunha. Is that supposed to be regardless of Mbeumo? I don't think so, History Buff. I mean, yeah, Cunha can play, but Cunha also plays as 9 pig, or he can. I think that's what they referred to. I think he's got confused. I don't think he means Cunha. Surely he doesn't think Cunha's a number 9. You know what I mean? Like, Cunha obviously is going to be playing the 10 for us. Like, he might play occasionally up top, but let's face it, he's going to be playing the number 9, the number 10 for us. So what the fuck's this all about, mate? Sorry, but that has confused me more than anything. Ekitike regardless of Matheus Cunha. I've started to feel maybe Matheus Cunha has used to bully him or something. I mean, he's like, oh, I'll still play for him even if that prick Matheus is there, you know. It's confused me a little bit, but I think he means Mbeumo or Gyokeres there, or I don't know. Anyway, Florian Plettenberg there with a rare L says Manchester United want to sign Hugo Ekitike regardless of Matheus Cunha, as they're still looking for a proper number 9. Liverpool remain fully in the race. Chelsea are also still involved. No agreements or decisions yet. Club-to-club talks between Man United and Eintracht Frankfurt began last week, as previously revealed. Okay, so it'd be brilliant if that happens then, you know. Yeah, well, Griffin Cunha is a 10. I mean, he has played in some other positions, even on the wing, and I think he played a couple of games up top. Let me go on Transfer Market and just see how many games this season for Wolves he played where. But I know he plays mostly, you know, as a 10. So we'll have a little look at him, though, and his positions where he played this season just gone, and how many games he played where. So we'll have a look at stats or current season, and then it will tell us. So he played 2 games for Wolves on left wing, 1 game for Wolves on right wing, 16 attacking mid, 10 second striker, and only 6 as number 9. So he can play in all those positions, but let's face it, he's a fucking 10, guys. He's a number 10. He's a second striker, he's a cam, he's a 10. So that's where he's been playing, yeah. But, I mean, he did play 6 times for them, but, yeah, I think he's got confused there. I think he means somebody else. Thank you, Ivor, appreciate that. It means because some people have suggested we'll sign 2 number 10s and no striker. Right, I see. Right, yep, could be. Ruddy Can't Game, thank you so much for the super chat, you legend. Let's get some big love in there for Ruddy. Thank you, Ruddington, lad. How you getting on, sir? Thank you for that hippopotamus doing that, lad. Thank you so much. Get some love in there for Ruddy. Cheers for that, dude. Cunha is the new striker. Well, I like Mbeumo as well. Mbeumo can actually play up there as well. Let me just have a look on Transfer Market again for Mbeumo and see where Mbeumo's positions were. Again, obviously, we know he played mostly that sort of like number 10 role for them, or on the right wing, sort of right wing, number 10 on the right kind of thing, right-sided. But for Mbeumo, let's see where actually he did play. Transfer Market is quite good for stuff like this because obviously you can just see where they've played throughout the season. So give me a second. Current season. So he had 32 on the right wing and 6 at centre forward, and only 1 at second striker, which is quite interesting. But yeah, right wing obviously is primarily, he'll be playing that right-sided cam role for us. That's where he'd be playing, and he played 6 times at centre forward. So in both Cunha and Mbeumo, you do have players that can play up top there as the number 9 for you, but ultimately they're coming in to be the 10s. Let's not pretend. They're coming in to play 10s. Matheus Cunha left-sided 10, Mbeumo right-sided 10. That's where they're coming into play. So we still need a number 9. We definitely still need a number 9. Yeah, exactly. He played 9 about 6 times max. That's absolutely right, yeah. There you go, lock in Simone. There you go. You want to see great expectations from Cunha, time to scare the dickens out the opposition. Yes, you think Mason Mount will have a very good season. Do you reckon if he stays fit, mate? Maybe. I don't think he will personally, but I hope you're right. I don't think he'll play that much. Think about it. We're signing Mbeumo and Cunha for big money to be our first teamers. Mount's now second string, and he probably was second string anyway, but he's definitely second string now, isn't he? He's going to be playing behind those guys, going to be playing behind Bruno. He's not going to get regular game time, I think. He'll be a squad player. No, I don't know what he's doing running. It does look a bit sus, doesn't it? Mbeumo can play number 9, 10 and right wing back. Very versatile. Yeah, don't make sense, that report. I agree, like a bit confusing that. Thank you, Veni Vidi. Yes, do us a favor. We'll be wrapping this up in a minute, but we'll read a couple more comments out. Hit that like button on it. Smash the likes, as you have said there, Veni Vidi. Thank you very much. Also, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're new. We're 4 people away from 90,700 subscribers. We only need 4 more subscribers to get there. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Help us get there. Nice one. Yeah, on top of you also want United. Nice one, Jamie. Oh, Jamie Riley. Jamie Riley. Hey, you won the giveaway last night, mate. On the gaming channel, we did a t-shirt giveaway draw. And you won, Jamie. All you have to do is contact me on Instagram or Twitter and let me know your size of t-shirt and also where you'd like me to send it to, mate. And I'll get that out to you, lad. Jamie Riley, you I don't think you were in the FIFA stream, were you? So you probably missed it. But you won, lad. You won. You won, lad. In fact, we're going to give everyone another chance to enter a giveaway tonight because tonight we're doing a giveaway. I've already asked people yesterday to go over to this YouTube short on my gaming channel and to write a comment on it, and you'll be entered for a giveaway tonight. And we're going to do it for tonight as well. So we did that yesterday, but we're going to do it again tonight, and we're going to draw another winner tonight on tonight's gaming channel stream at 10:45 p.m. on Flying Pig Gaming. All you have to do to enter the giveaway for a chance to win a free t-shirt is to go over to this YouTube short right here and comment something on it in the next half an hour. If you've already commented on it, don't worry, you're already entered. But, you know, giveaway, comment here. Boom. There it is. If you go over to that short there on YouTube, it's just a little link to my gaming channel. It's a little short over there. Subscribe to Flying Pig Gaming. Give it a like if you want. And comment on it to help boost the algorithm. But also so I can see who's entered into the giveaway tonight when we draw it. We'll draw it tonight around about, 10:45. Legends. Okay then, guys. Well, I guess we'd better wrap this stream up then, because we've been on here for fucking ages. It's actually, how long have we been on here for? 1 hour and 40 minutes. What? That's longer than a game of football. Yeah, no, we've got to go, mate. That's crazy. Big ups to the legends in the chat. Ivor, Lucky, Debasis, Vinny Vidi, Simon Warner, Jamie Riley, Simon, Mags Hannon. Get in there, Ivor, Santos. Let's go, lad. Simon Warner. Ruddy Can't Game, Jamie Riley, Simon, Mags, who else? Everybody. Lucky Singh, thank you so much, guys, for getting in here. Jamie Robinson, H1000, Veni Vidi, Lucky Singh. Right, guys, go over here. Comment on this short there on YouTube to be entered into the giveaway, and we'll draw that tonight on the gaming channel. As always, I'll be back on here at 10 p.m. tonight for another United news show. And if there's any breaking news, anything big in between then, we'll jump on and cover it. But if not, I'll see you at 10 p.m. Click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss anything if there is some breaking news. I'll see you at 10 o'clock, lad. Nice one, Most Wanted, Santos, Jamie, Daz Salford, you legend, Miz, Jamie, History Buff, Zippy, Superstar, Ivor, DJ Electric, Madhouse, Aidan Vickery, Beef Bully, William Marsh, DJ, Lucky, Vexico, Superstar, Ruddy, and everybody else, all the mods, all the members. Thanks for supporting the channel. That's it from me, guys. Thank you for watching the Lunchtime Live. Back tomorrow this sort of time as well, 12:30 p.m.-ish, and of course tonight at 10 p.m. And like I say, go and enter the t-shirt giveaway using this link that's in the live chat and pinned at the top of the chat there to enter the giveaway, and I'll draw that tonight. See you later, and remember, Piggy loves you. You can come back after and have your say in the not live comment section. Keep the debate going thereafter. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.